Republicans literally, they want women to carry a dead fetus in their body. That's basically what they would like by way of policy, by way of legislation. So let me first take you to Indiana. Indiana state representative wants to force women to carry non-viable fetuses to term. Non-viable, not living, cannot survive, cannot be birthed successfully. Still, they want this to be a reality that women have to face. This is an opinion based on a legislation dynamic presented. This is one of the bizarre assertions Republicans have recently made. Okay, at a recent Indiana state legislative session, Democratic State Representative Carey Hamilton pressed Republican J. Michael Davisson on an amendment that would ban abortion even in cases of severe issues with the fetus, even if it would be stillborn, which means dead, not living, no life at all, no biological function. Here it is.
I'm thinking about situations that all mothers might face here, and that is, say at 17 weeks, I had an ultrasound and I was told that the fetus is failing to thrive and has no chance of survival. With this amendment, is it true that I would have to carry that fetus to term? Is that true?
Could you rephrase the question?
Sure. So imagine I'm pregnant. I'm 17 weeks pregnant, and I've learned that the fetus is not thriving and has no chance of survival. Is it true under this amendment that I would have to carry that pregnancy to term?
Yes.
Okay, a couple of more questions. So who will pay for the funeral after the delivery of a dead or dying infant?
I presume you or a trustee.
Okay, so we're foisting that expense upon the grieving would-be mother. So one more question. Do you have any guidance as to how I would talk to my family or my young children about what I'm experiencing as I'm going through extreme trauma leading up to a delivery of a dead infant, that they're seeing me go through this pregnancy? Can you imagine the trauma there? Do you think there's a way to handle that that makes sense?
Well, I would simply say this. I don't think any of us are guaranteed tomorrow. All of us must accept death as a consequence of life itself. And that I would hope that you would turn to your faith and your loved ones to help guide you through that, and put faith and trust in our Creator, the Almighty God.
Wow, Representative Davisson. So he says that nobody is guaranteed tomorrow. Sir, the way you look, you don't look guaranteed the next hour. Now, that amendment actually failed. It did, thankfully, 65 to 35. That ridiculous amendment did fail. There's a separate exchange. Indiana Republican State Representative Karen Engelman, yes, an actual Karen, struggled when Democrat Rita Fleming asked her about banning abortion for child survivors of rape and incest. Here's that exchange.
Representative Engelman, does this apply to a 5th grader who has been a victim of incest?
It does, but I think it's harmful to put a minor in the position of being the new Jane Roe. The weight of whether or not we allow lives to be ended should not rest on the traumatized shoulders of a young rape survivor.
No, they don't. They rest on the ridiculous shoulders of backwards ass politicians like yourself, because you all create the policy, they do not. Now, there's another dynamic that must be highlighted. American Conservative Union Chair used the topic of abortion to deflect against criticism after Conservative Political Action Conference hosted a far-right Hungarian individual who does not want racists to intermingle. Here it is.
But here's the other thing, which is I'm in Hungary, we're at CPAC Hungary, we're in Budapest, and all these people are talking about how racist conservatives are because of immigration or that. And I was like, how about this? How about in America we stop killing our unborn children? We're killing young unborn kids of color. More blacks are aborted than are allowed to live. I'm not for that. You're not for that. They are the biggest hypocrites. They say that we're the racists. Stop funding Planned Parenthood. Stop funding the genocide of that young black child, those kids of color. I want to embrace them into our civilization. They want to give them a death sentence.
One thing CPAC.
Okay, so let me go ahead and educate you, sir. The federal government does not fund Planned Parenthood abortions because of a law that was passed in the 1970s that prohibited such funding. In addition to that, you're also wrong about your statistics by saying that more black children are aborted than born. 100% inaccurate in that relay of bad information. He was talking about Prime Minister Orban, and let me give you some background to this far-right nationalist he was referring to. Last week, a senior advisor resigned after an address by the prime minister. She characterized as a pure Nazi speech. In it, the prime minister repeatedly denounced the idea of mixing races. Okay? All right. Amidst the crackdown on abortion rights in Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis suspended a Tampa prosecutor who said he would not prosecute abortion cases. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on Thursday suspended Tampa's elected prosecutor, the people's choice, suspended this prosecutor, Andrew Warren, for pledging not to use his office to go after people who seek and provide abortions or on doctors that provide gender-affirming care to transgender people. In his executive authority, DeSantis accused Warren of neglect of duty and incompetence as the state attorney of Hillsborough County. To take a position that you have veto powers over the laws of the state is untenable, DeSantis said at a press conference in Tampa, surrounded by law enforcement. Now, I want to remind everybody, there's prosecutorial discretion, okay? So all prosecutors have prosecutorial discretion. DeSantis has taken this away. What are your thoughts here? It's so insane, and it's tracking all across the country, not just isolated in one state or another. This is permeating in American culture by way of Republican legislatures and governors.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, as someone who would be dead now if it wasn't for access to abortion care, seeing these Republicans saying these disgusting things and just disregarding the very, very important aspect of healthcare that abortion is a horrifying nightmare. I want them to keep their Bibles as far away from my uterus as physically possible.